Have you ever wondered who is Mystery Babylon? I mean, is Mystery Babylon America? Or is Mystery Babylon Rome? Or is she perhaps a city you've never considered before? In this video, we're going to show you the clues that the Bible gives us for her identity. That's coming up next. Hey everyone, this is Dana with the Wisdom Calls channel and whatyourpastornevertoldyou.com, helping you to understand the Bible better so that you can have a better relationship with God. Welcome to Bible Study Today. I'm so excited to have you here for our study of Revelation chapter 17, and we're actually beginning a series right now on Mystery Babylon, and we are sure to bring you some amazing content as well as some surprises along the way. So I'm excited to share with you guys some announcements. Make sure to stick around until the end of the video for those special announcements. We have so much going on behind the scenes, and I can't wait to share all of that with you guys. That being said, if you're new here, consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And if you haven't yet, make sure to click the bell icon because that's going to give you notifications each and every time we upload a video. If you enjoy videos about the Bible or end times Bible prophecies, we upload 2 to 3 videos each week on end times Bible prophecy. So that's right where you're going to want to be for studies pertaining to the end times. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into our study of Revelation chapter 17. Why don't you go ahead and read along with me? We're going to be picking up right where we left off last time, where we had just finished the 7 bowls of God's wrath being poured out on the earth. And then this person or personality is being introduced to us who is called Mystery Babylon. I'm so excited to get this video out to you guys because this personification of Mystery Babylon has baffled many Bible scholars throughout the millennia and continues to be a controversial topic with regard to end times Bible prophecy. So it's so important that we get a handle on what the Bible has to say about Mystery Babylon. So read along with me. We're going to start up in Revelation 17. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and spoke to me, saying, "Come here, and I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed acts of immorality, and those who dwell on the earth were drunk with the wine of her immorality." So we see this personification of a woman who is an immoral woman, a harlot who sits on many waters. And we're going to find out as we read through this that that is representative of many peoples, many ethnicities that she is reigning over. Verse 3, "And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness." So that's important. This personification resides in a wilderness. "And I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast full of blasphemous names, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, if you haven't watched our earlier videos, I'll put a link for you guys, but we have talked before about how Revelation brings up this beast, the symbolic beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, and it's also symbolic of what we've read in Daniel. So if you haven't watched those videos, make sure to click on the link above that I share with you guys and you can learn a little bit more about that. But as we learned in those videos, that the beast is representative of the Antichrist empire as well as the Antichrist himself. "The woman was clothed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, and having in her hand a gold cup full of abominations and of the unclean things of her immorality. And on her forehead was written Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth." So we see this figurative woman who is an immoral woman. Now in the Bible, immorality is linked to idolatry or false religion. So it's linked to worship of anything else other than the one true God. That is spiritual immorality as far as the scripture is concerned. We also see that this woman is clothed in royal clothes. right? In robes of scarlet and purple, and she's drinking out of a gold cup. And so she has this abundant wealth and luxury and a royalness about her, because in those days only the royal could afford to have this special attire, these robes. And in fact, the dye came from a special area in Tyre and right along the Mediterranean, coast of the Mediterranean there. And so we see these links to a Middle Eastern royal person. Written on her was, some translations say, was written on her a mystery, and other translations say Mystery Babylon, that is her name, Mystery Babylon. And some people, because of the name mystery, begin to get all confused about it. And that isn't to say that we know all the answers about Mystery Babylon, but that what I mean to say is that when we read through scriptures and we look up, when the Bible talks about a mystery, what it's really talking about is a secret that is meant to be revealed to those who are on the inside. So this word mystery not only has a connotation to it of a secret that is meant to be searched out or that will be revealed in time, it also has the connotation of symbolism. Just as in a dream, certain things do not literally mean those things, but they are symbolic. So when we look back at the instance with Joseph and Pharaoh, and Pharaoh had these dreams of the fat cows that were eaten by the skinny cows, it's representative of feasting time versus famine time. So likewise, we see here that we have a symbolic Babylon, that's representative of something else. And we're going to find out more about the clues about who she is. Who is this Mystery Babylon? There are many telltale characteristics that are hidden within the scriptures if we will pay attention while we read. So let's read together. Picking up again, as we read in verse 5, it says, "And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots and of the abominations of the earth." So to be the mother of all of something shows us that she is the greatest of all these things. It's like the mother of all, the mother of all weapons would be like the biggest there is. And so this harlot or false religion is the biggest of all the false religions. She is the greatest of all. In verse 6 it says, "And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the witnesses of Jesus." This is a really important characteristic that we need to remember, that Mystery Babylon is drunk on the blood of the saints and the blood of the witnesses of Jesus. So this personality represents the martyrdom of the saints, one of these false religions that executes believers. This is really important to pay attention to this. "When I saw her, I wondered greatly. And the angel said to me, 'Why do you wonder? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast you saw is not, and is about to come out of the abyss and go down to destruction.'" So this is a clue telling us that the beast empire is an empire that was of before and will come again, and then will go down into destruction. But notice that it says here that this beast was before, but is not now. So at the time of the writing of this, the Roman Empire was reigning. That was the empire in control. And so the very fact that it says is not, that this beast is not currently, and the Roman Empire is what's currently there, that lets us know that the beast empire is not a Roman Empire. And that's contrary to what a lot of people speculate, but that's what the scripture says here. And it says that this empire is about to come up out of the abyss and then go to destruction. And those who dwell on the earth, whose name has not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, will wonder when they see the beast, that he was, is not, and will come. And so this is saying that there's going to be 2 groups of people. There's going to be the group of people that follow Jesus, because we saw that this woman who rides on the beast, she persecutes believers. And so believers are here at this time while she's persecuting and killing them. And then there's the group of people on earth that do not have their names written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And those people will wonder, they will be in awe after the beast, because they will recognize this was a former empire, and then it wasn't, and then it was again. And they will be in awe at this. But why do you suspect that the believers will not be in awe at this? Because they have the scriptures that foretell it. So we're not going to be surprised that it is an empire that was in the past and that will come again. And since it was in the past, it has to have been one of the empires previous to the Roman Empire. Let's keep reading. Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. And they are 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must remain for a little while. Well, let's break this down a little bit. So first of all, the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. So this woman, this figurative woman, sits on 7 mountains. So geographically, that narrows down a lot of places. There are only a handful of places throughout the world that are claimed to be on 7 mountains, and not just 7 hills, but it says 7 mountains. It says in addition to that, see, there's duality in the symbolism. It doesn't just represent one thing, that it often represents more than one thing. It can represent 1, 2, whatever amount of things that the Lord intends for this symbol to mean. In this case, it represents both the mountains and it represents the kings, 7 kings. And it's saying that 5 kings have died in the past, and that 1 is, and that the other has not yet come. So they're saying 5 have passed, 5 have died. Number 6 is, but obviously at that time the empire must not have been an empire. And it says that another 1 has not yet come, and when he does, he must remain a little while. The beast which was and is not is himself also an 8th, and is one of the 7. And I think a lot of people miss this because they count the 7 heads, and so they say, okay, 7 kings, but the Bible here says that there's actually an 8th, and there's another place in Scripture that this is mentioned as well. And so it's important to realize there's not just 7, there's 8. And the 8th is of the 7, and he goes to destruction. Verse 12, the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but they receive authority as kings with the beast. So that means simultaneous with the beast. So these other kings they were talking about are kings that reign consecutively to one another. They don't live at the same time in history. Now they're talking about 10 kings that will receive authority along with the beast for 1 hour. They have one purpose, and they give their power and authority over to the beast. So we're finding out so much about not only the woman who sits on the beast, but the beast itself, the Antichrist empire. And as we read, we will find out that they are 2 distinct entities. Verse 14, these will wage war against the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And those who are with him are the called and chosen and faithful. So when the Lord does go out to battle the Antichrist, when that time happens, that he is going to have an army with him. And it says here who they are. They are the called and chosen and faithful. So I believe that's us as believers, that we will be with him during this time. Now we'll notice as we're talking through these events, as we read through these, we are giving a lot of identifying markers. But they're not necessarily all in chronology of one another. The events that we read about, it's sometimes, in this case, like in verse 14, it kind of skips to the end and says, by the way, at the end, when they wage war with the Lamb's going to win. And this is who he's going to have with him. But then we're going to back up again and get even more details. In verse 15, it says, and he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits are the peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw, and the beast, these will hate the harlot, and they will make her desolate and naked, and they will eat her flesh and burn her up with fire. For God has put it in their hearts to execute his purpose, by having a common purpose, and by giving their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God be fulfilled. The woman which you saw is the great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. Okay, so there's quite a bit to unpack here. But we see, of course, that where the harlot sits, this city, and we see at the end here that it is a city. This city has many peoples, many tongues, many ethnicities. That's why some people have been led to think that perhaps it's America. And even there's a place in New York City that has, 7 hills. And so some people say, oh, this is America. But I don't think that that can be the case, because when you look at the scriptures, it says that the harlot is drunk on the blood of the saints. Now, unless America changes drastically in the near future, that is not a fit. So even though there might be similarities, in some of the extravagances and the wealth of America. America, by and large itself, is not the greatest false religion in the world. It's not. And so we have to apply what the scriptures have to say instead of our own natural sight to things. We have to apply God's sight to these things and not our sight. We are limited in our vision. We only see a little bit, so we've got to study the scriptures diligently so that we know what they say. And we see that this Antichrist, even though she will ride the Antichrist at first, the empire, the Antichrist empire and these 10 kings that have given all their authority to the Antichrist, they will turn on the woman. And that's important that we pay attention to that. We also see here that the woman is a great city and she rules over the kings of the earth. And so whatever city this is, whether it's a city that's in existence today or a city that will be in existence in the future, we see that this city has great sway with many kings and nations all over the whole earth. That's important too. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us for the study of Revelation 17. This has just been part 1 of our series of Who is Mystery Babylon. So if you haven't yet, make sure to smash that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you get all the notifications. You won't want to miss a single video. As I mentioned earlier in my video, I have a ton of new announcements for you guys, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of them at each of these videos that we're doing. First of all, I want to announce to you guys that we have some significant cool things that are coming your way. I know that many of you guys would like to support this channel, and I want to thank you for those of you that have already begun supporting this channel. We need to support works of God in this world today. There is censorship like never before, and to produce materials like this, there are lots of expenses that are involved: production equipment, web hosting, advertising, all of these sorts of things to get the message out. So if you think this content is valuable, you can help support this channel. You can share these videos. That would mean the world to me if you would share these videos with your friends. That's going to help get this reach out there. But also, you guys, on my website, whatyourpastornevertoldyou.com, you are now able to make donations. So that is super exciting. You can do it right through PayPal and make all of your donations there. And I just want to thank you in advance for helping support this channel. Also, one other new, cool, exciting development is that we are going to be offering podcasts for you guys. So for those of you that love our videos but don't have a whole lot of time in your day to squeeze them in, maybe you'd like to listen to these while you're working out. I know many of you guys do that while you're working out, or maybe you'd like to listen to these videos while you're on your commute. We are going to make these videos available to you via podcast, so you can download those and listen at whenever it's convenient for you guys. So I'm super excited about these things. We have lots of new other exciting things that I can't wait to tell you guys about, and one big surprise that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks in terms of a video. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much for joining us for a video today. As always, I'm Dana with the Wisdom Calls channel and whatyourpastornevertoldyou.com, helping you to understand the Bible better so that you can have a better relationship with God. Have a blessed day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.